Hello, I'm Alex from the Southern Universities Network. With everything that's gone on since the outbreak of COVID-19, you could well find yourself in a position where you're supporting a young person who's decided to make a late application to higher education. We realise that this can be quite a daunting prospect, so this video is designed to give you our 3 top tips for making a late application to higher education. So tip number 1 is do the research together. If you're looking at making a late application to higher education, the best first port of call is the Universities and Colleges Admission Service, UCAS, and you can do this by going to www.ucas.com. UCAS is the place where the majority of applications to undergraduate degree courses, or those first courses that you'd apply to as a student, are made. They also have a process called clearing, and clearing is designed as a mechanism for anybody who hasn't yet made an application to do so after they've received their exam results. Alongside the clearing tool, there's also a ton of information on things like student finance and student life, which can be really valuable in guiding your decision-making process. Now, before using clearing on UCAS, it's really important that you do some research with the young person first. And this is around what they might want out of their experience of higher education. It could include things like the type of course that they'd be interested in studying. You could be looking at things like the facilities that are available. It could be geographic location, so whether the young person would be interested in moving away from home to study, or whether they'd want to stay local and commute in, or how far, if they are looking at staying away from home, is going to be too far. How much time would they want to take to get home, perhaps to get their washing done, or have a home cooked meal courtesy of yourselves. Other things to consider are things like sports teams and societies and extracurricular opportunities. There's an awful lot to get engaged in as a student apart from just the course, so it's really important that you have those conversations before making an application to a university. The reason being that in order for the students to maximise their experience and have a great time studying in higher education, you want to find a course and a university that's right for them. So tip number 1 is do the research together, and do the research first before entering into the process of clearing. Tip number 2, seek advice. Making a late application to university can be quite an ominous process, and sometimes you can feel quite isolated. The important thing to remember is that you're not alone. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of students that will be in exactly the same position making these late applications, and there's a lot of support available for the young people. The first step might be to re-engage or connect with staff members at the school or the college the young person has attended and run through some of the options that are available with them. Equally, it might be a careers advisor that you've got a connection with who the young person has met previously that you can reach out and drop an email to. The Southern Universities Network are also hosting a platform during this period called Future Steps, which is an online mechanism to engage with current students, careers advisors and college staff who'd be more than happy to help. I'll provide a little bit more detail about our Future Steps platform at the end of this video. And finally, tip number 3. Get in touch with the universities. There is absolutely no reason why your first contact with higher education institutions that you're thinking of applying to needs to be because you are making an application to that course. It's a really good idea, if you've got any questions, to get in touch with the university first and ask them, especially in the current climate. With COVID-19, it's affecting the ways interviews are conducted, being by Skype or by phone instead of face-to-face. It's affected open days and opportunities to get around the campus and have a look. There's a lot of universities that have been hosting virtual open days online that you might not be aware of, and it's great to chat with someone who's got experience of the campus and can talk to you about what life might be like should the young person make an application to that university. So tip number 3 is get in touch with universities and don't wait until you're making the application to do it. Okay, so to recap, tip 1, do the research together and do it before you enter into the process of clearing on UCAS. Tip number 2, seek advice from the expert. Get in touch with the students or teachers at school or college, careers advisors, or access some of those national or digital platforms that we spoke about. And tip number 3, get in touch with the universities. Find out what their provisions are for September and whether or not you can access things like virtual open days during this time. You don't have to wait till you've made an application to get in touch. So there are 3 top tips. As I also mentioned, the Southern Universities Network has its own platform called Future Steps, which is available for parents and students to access. It provides the opportunity to engage with careers advisors, current students at university, and staff from local colleges of further education who would be more than happy to answer any questions and queries that you've got. If that's an opportunity that you'd like to take, all you need to do is click the link.